In the ongoing City Harvest Church trial today, Susan Ong, a Financial Services Associate Director and a CHC trustee, took the stand as the eighth prosecution witness. Deputy Public Prosecutor Christopher Ong took her through documents she had signed as CHC's trustee. She confirmed that her role was to be a custodian of the church's immovable assets, and that she would clarify any details she did not understand in documents she was asked to sign. Ong also said that the executive members of the church entrusted decisions regarding investments to AMAC Partners Private Limited, headed by defendant Chew Eng Han. As trustee, she was not privy to the actual negotiations and details of the bonds, but she told the court she had no reason to question the bond subscription agreements as they had been prepared by reputable law firms. In response to questions posed by Kong Hee's lawyer, Edwin Tong, Ong emphasized that the church did not exist for the crossover project. It was a part of the CHC's commitment to fulfill the Great Commission, which is to reach the world with the love of Christ. The church did not regard the choice of San Ho, wife of Kong, as a conflict of interest. Ong told the court that the candidate for the crossover had to look the part, speak the part, and dress the part, and yet she had to be someone not easily tarnished by the values of the world. She said Ho fit the role well. Ong said that the members of the church stood behind Ho and the crossover project financially and spiritually. Some members, including her, sponsored the crossover project willingly because they understood that finances would be needed to introduce a local music talent into an international arena. When questioned about the legitimacy of the bonds issued by Extron, Ong maintained that in order to issue sham bonds, Extron would have to be a shell company that does nothing. But Extron was already a viable business providing audio, visual and lighting services and could have been a profitable company if allowed to run its course. Michael Koo, defense counsel for Chew Eng Han, asked Ong if the bond transactions were used to conceal the diversion of monies from the building fund. Ong pointed out that it could not be considered an attempt at concealment if the members already knew Extron was using the funds from the bond subscriptions to support the crossover project. When asked by the prosecution how she knew all monies had been returned to the church, Ong said she had probably been told at some meetings but could not provide any details. Wayu Hanafi took the stand in the afternoon and was questioned by DPP Tan Kiat Peng on the role of Extron in the overall structure of the crossover project. Hanafi confirmed that in April 2003, the church's AGM introduced him, together with his wife, as sponsors of the crossover project. He also said that he was prepared to make annual contributions of about $1 million or more toward the crossover mission. DPP Tan then pressed Hanafi on the refund of his building fund donations and tithes to CHC. Hanafi confirmed that he shifted his personal giving from the church into the financing of the crossover project. This was because CHC and Extron had the same spiritual mission. Both were same spiritually but different physically as entities. Hanafi said that although Extron suffered losses, he didn't mind because he knew that it was for missions and that he believed that the goal of the project was not for profits but the winning of souls. Hanafi also testified that the crossover mission had impacted the churches in Taiwan and Hong Kong. When Sun entered the US market, he stressed that she was probably the only Asian singer to have hit the top of the US Billboard charts. It was from there that she was invited to hold concerts in China, said Hanafi. He reiterated that the outreach to China was the ultimate goal of the crossover mission and added it was unfortunate they didn't manage to finish the job. The prosecution will continue its examination of Hanafi at 9:30 a.m. tomorrow. For more information, log on to citynews.sg. I'm Andrea Lim for City News, Singapore.